What is up, everybody? This is Micah with Tone Nerds. Hope you guys are doing well. We are at the Dallas International Guitar Festival 2025.
Yes, we
having a great time, making a lot of new friends around here. And I am really excited to be speaking today with one of the icons of the Dallas International Guitar Festival and beyond. This is Larry Mitchell.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on, man?
I'm a self-professed tone nerd, gear nerd.
Yes, hey, you're among friends. Now you are, correct me if I'm wrong, I was talking to Scott Robbins, trying to get the rundown, and you got to consider the source.
Okay.
But he did say you were from Alabama, is that right?
I'm from New York originally. I live in Alabama.
You live in Alabama.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. I'm sure there's a whole story with that. New York.
I'm there from my mom out.
Oh, got it. Okay.
My mom is from there originally. But I was born in Brooklyn and Queens.
Got it. Okay.
My local guitar hero when I was growing up was Steve Stevens. Do you know who Steve Stevens is?
I don't.
He's the guitar player for Billy Idol.
Oh, okay. Got it.
He wrote the theme to Top Gun.
Really? No way.
Yeah.
Man, I'm feeling like less of a tone nerd right now.
It's all that's not necessarily tone, but although he's highly regarded as far as gear wise.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I got to do my research.
Steve Stevens, check him out.
Well, Larry, tell me first off a little bit about your history with the Dallas Guitar Show. Because when I think of Dallas Guitar Show, I basically think of Jimmy Wallace.
Yes.
But I also think Larry Mitchell.
Really? That's interesting. I've only been doing it since 2018, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
but I've always wanted to come to it, and then I endorse a company called Knaggs Guitars now.
Yes, I know Knaggs.
And they brought me to the Arlington show one year.
Okay.
And I met Scott Robbins and Jimmy, and then Scott and Jimmy invited me to play the 2018. They invited me to play that year, the 2018.
Yeah.
And had a great time and jam with Jimmy, then the All-Star Jam, and then he started having me come back and play on the clinician stage solo,
yeah,
and outside stage with the band. Scott plays bass and
yeah, and
my friend Charlie Gourmet plays drums.
Okay.
And yeah, we have
very cool, man. Yeah.
It's a great festival because
It
there's
is.
so much. I mean, you can be inside and talk vintage guitars and new guitars and tweaky pickups and amps and stuff. And then someone who doesn't play can go outside and watch great music.
Great music, yeah.
Great guitar playing, great music.
One of the things that's been really cool to me is last year, we didn't have a booth or anything. We just came and attended.
Okay.
And we saw some, companies that we knew. Like Rev was here, Veritas was here. Of course, some of the big companies that are around. But we found probably 10 or 12, companies we never heard of.
Oh yeah.
And that's just so great, and then we're excited to see those people this year. And then this year is the same thing. We discover all these people who are doing incredible work.
Yes.
Whether it's guitar building, whether it's pedals, whether it's.
I just ran into a friend of mine. He makes these wood pick guards for Atelis and Strats and stuff like that. I was like, wow.
Heck,
I know
yeah.
he's a leather maker, so he makes some leather ones too.
Yeah.
These specialized stuff.
Yeah. What's the name of the vendor? You want to give them a shout out?
ProBagg.
ProBagg.
They actually designed a gig bag for them years ago.
Okay.
A double gig bag that you can get on a plane a little bit easier with.
Yeah.
And so I know them as leather workers.
Yep.
And it's like, what's this? He's got wood. He's got leather pick guards and wood pick guards. So
Yeah,
I
it's
love
just
wood pick guards.
Well, I love that. Yeah, we actually, one of the kids that's doing 10 under 20, Alex Lee Warner. I don't know if you've met him yet.
Yeah. He jammed with me at the booth.
Oh, that's excellent, man. Yeah, so he came by earlier. We were talking, and he showed us his guitar. Did you see his guitar?
He got a wood pick guard.
A wood pick guard, yeah. And his guitar is made out of really unusual woods. There's a cherry wood neck on it.
Yeah, it's the first time I've ever seen a cherry wood
the sycamore
neck.
body.
I'm curious about the tone difference on that.
Yeah, he says it feels great. It's just always something new at the Dallas International Guitar Festival. I know you as a guitar player.
Okay.
That's where I'm coming into this thing.
Okay.
But I'm finding out there's a lot more to Larry Mitchell than a very large part of who Larry Mitchell. Yeah, you produce a lot.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that work.
I produce a lot of singer-songwriter, a lot of different music, but singer-songwriter, world music, a lot of Native American music. I've done a few spiritual, new age kind of records. I've done contemporary Christian, gospel R&B, some rock records, some country records.
That about covers it.
There are some categories there that are not there, but
yeah.
But it's fun. I enjoy that. That's probably takes up on an average year, it takes up half of my time.
Okay.
I'm playing the rest of the time, and in some years, I've been lucky, really blessed that some years when production's slow, I've been into band guitar-wise, whether I'm doing sideman work or my own stuff.
Yeah.
And then some years where, I can't seem to get all the right gigs that I want, stuff like that, people call me and say, hey, I want to do a record. Can we talk about doing a record?
Yeah.
So I get to produce and stuff like
That's great, man. Who are some of your favorite producers?
Producers?
Yeah.
Ooh, I work with Nile Rodgers. I'm a big Nile Rodgers fan.
Okay.
He produced the Rick Ocasek record I played on called Fireball Zone in 1991.
Okay.
But Nile produced...
Nile's the man.
David Bowie's Let's Dance, Madonna's Like a Virgin, the B-52's Love Shack record, Steve Winwood, Higher Ground. There's a bunch of records in the 80s. He was everything besides
That's incredible.
Did.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I am a Trevor Horn fan.
Okay.
Seal, and just a lot of stuff. And then his production is just really, I love his production.
Dude, production's one of those things. Like, I was watching a Rick Beato episode the other day. It was with Daniel Lanois.
Oh yeah.
He's iconic.
Yeah.
But like one of the things that the conversation kind of went to, like being what makes a good producer, and it really is like comes down to you have really good taste. You have a sense of what's going to work well. You have the imagination to think like this kind of sound or this kind of instrument.
It's a lot of it is seeing the big picture.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of different producers. I'm an all-in-one producer, so I'm working with the artist, usually a solo artist.
Yeah.
We don't have enough time to talk about working with bands. But so I play whatever instruments the artist don't play. So I'm playing a lot of times drums, bass, guitars.
Yeah.
Badly playing keyboards, but fixing the crap out of it later on.
Yeah.
But it's the ability to, I think, the ability to see the big picture, to keep the artist on focus, keep the record on focus. And traditionally, it's the liaison between the record company and the artist. Keep the artist's vision, but also the record company is like, we got to sell this.
Yeah, right.
Making a record is not necessarily the best time to work on someone's weak points and try and make it better. It's more about highlighting their strongest points and bringing that out, and then they can go back and work on their weak points at one time to make it better. You work on your off season, on your left hand shots.
Right, yeah.
But
totally.
It's just like finding out, oh, that's a strong point. Let's highlight that. Let's bring that out. And just sometimes keeping it real, because sometimes people have a vision of what they want to do, and you go, that's probably the weak point.
Right.
Let's see what else we can come up with and stuff.
Gotcha.
Like that.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about gear, right? So we're the tone nerds. We really enjoy talking about our amps and pedals and guitars and the whole thing. So
I love gear.
So just talk me through. First off, you do have some manufacturers that you work with.
Yes. All right.
You mentioned Knaggs.
So I have a model. I was an Ibanez artist for 26 years.
Okay.
And then about 15 years ago, I left and wasn't particularly looking to endorse another company or something, but got turned on to Knaggs guitars and met Joe Knaggs. Joe Knaggs, for those who don't know, started working on PRS guitar. He went to high school with Paul Reed Smith and started working, I believe, in his second year there. And then Joe created the private stock program. So that program made the super high-end, expensive PRS guitars. And then Joe left a while ago, like maybe 15 years ago too, and started Knaggs guitars, maybe a little longer. And Joe designed the Vela, the Starla, the Mira, and the Archtrap series for PRS.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Very cool.
So the entire the private stock program became the Knaggs, the first Knaggs division. So they make really beautiful high guitars. Yeah. And I started playing some of the guitars, and then later on they and asked me if I would like a model. So I actually have a model. It's a separate LM, and I love it. It's based off a 65 Strat.
Great. Very cool.
It does have DiMaggio. I've been with DiMaggio since the 80s, mid 80s. So it has DiMaggio Area 67 pickups in it, so they don't make any humbucker.
Yeah.
And then a Satch track in the back, which is like a squeezed humbucker.
Okay.
And at first Joe was like, I'm not sure how that's going to work, but He called me. He said I got the guitar done, and nice pickup choice. He actually liked it.
You liked it?
He would have told me if he didn't like it.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
So
anything different with the wiring, or like is it coil tapping, anything like that?
No, I'm not. I need to. I'm an entertainer bit, so I don't necessarily use. I use a 5-piece switch.
Yeah.
Nothing super crazy.
Cool. What rig are you playing right now these days? Like at the show, what rig are you
I
running?
have my Fractal FM3.
Okay,
So-
that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I come from. I don't do anything. I do a lot of stuff with effects. I love effects.
Yeah.
Tones and stuff. I'm a big Edge fan, and
Yes,
Steve
yes.
Stevens is
Huge,
Ray
yeah.
Gun and stuff. I used to, out of high school, I was in a Rush tribute band. We did Rush, Triumph, and the Police.
Excellent.
And I had 2 pedal boards, one with 10 pedals, one with 11 pedals on it, with an AV box between clean and dirty.
Oh wow.
And
You had
then
a whole pedal board for each.
Yes.
That is
And
fantastic.
then I discovered rack gear in the mid 80s, and I got into rack gear. And then in '88, I did my first big tour with a Spanish-Italian artist named Miguel Jose, and I got a Bradshaw rig, Soldano preamp, quad preamp, Mesa Boogie quad preamp, 2290.
Uh-huh.
Nice. SPX 90. I had the Eventide for a
Yeah.
while, Bradshaw. And then I couldn't move all this stuff for a few years, so, took them to gigs, and I ended up with 2 Pro Juniors, Fender Pro Juniors,
Yeah.
the tweed ones.
Uh-huh.
I love them. And pedal boards. Got into that. And then I was touring with Native American artists, quite a few Native American artists when I lived in New Mexico. I would fly, all fly gigs. Really hard to get pedal boards,
Yeah, totally.
something like that, because they were like, what is this? It's a
Yeah.
compressor.
It's not a
What's
bomb, I promise.
What's a compressor? So I discovered through this guy Scott Peterson, the Fractal world.
Yeah.
So I did that, and now I take an FM3 when I'm flying, and when I'm driving, I have an FM9.
Okay.
A little bit bigger.
A little bit bigger, yeah.
And then I have a couple alternate rigs as well. I have the new VP4, which is effects only.
Okay.
Fractal world. So I love all the effects.
Yeah.
They make some amazing effects. And then I also have a bigger one with a VP4 and an Eventide H90.
Oh, the 90. Yeah.
It's great.
That's fantastic, yeah.
And then I just got, it's like I'm rebuilding one of my old rack rigs, but on a pedal board. So I have that pedal board has a Soldano preamp, the SLO Plus.
Yep, okay.
So it's 2 channels.
That's sick, yeah.
So it's like that was what I used to have in the early '90s. I did a tour with a guy named Billy Squire. Remember Billy Squire?
Okay, yep.
So I had the Soldano preamp and a Marshall preamp, and then the Eventide H90, Eventide H3000, and then the 2290. So I have the 2290 pedal, the Eventide H90, the Soldano, and the VP4.
So you're just
a
like,
lot of effects.
That is a lot of effects.
Yeah, but it's also a board that I'm not flying with.
Totally, yeah. Yeah. So how are you using all those? Are you running like using effects loop or like all between
No, they're all running into the front of it. When I do pedal boards, a lot of times I'm doing it the old school way. So when I came up in the 80s and early 80s, we didn't have effects loops.
Yeah.
Only guys that can afford to have
Yeah.
a Marshall bought it with an effects loop.
That was bougie back then, yeah.
You use the clean, like the old school country world. You get the nicest clean sound you can get, and you hit it with the overdrive pedals and the effects into the as well.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. Oh, what is that? What do you got there?
So, years ago, I had an issue where I couldn't hold on to picks. My hands were shaking a bit and stuff. And then that, through acupuncture and changing my diet, that helped. But in the process, I met this guy named Dave Story.
Okay.
And Dave Story he built and designed the Kaler tremolo and licensed it to Gary Taylor. He also created Dava picks.
Okay.
Which has a little neoprene on it.
Yeah.
And we always talked about, like, I wanted my own pick.
Yeah.
Color, so that's it.
That's nice.
Gold drop.
Yeah, love that, man. It feels great.
Released. You can have it if you want.
Oh, really? Oh, nice.
It's not official. It should be released probably next week or the week after.
Sweet. How long have you been playing these now?
Oh, 12 years.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, but that one is brand new.
This is great, man. This is like tone locker colors. You see how? Look
Yeah.
at that. Hey. Yeah, there you go. Very cool. Well, Larry, man, I appreciate the time. Where can we find out more about your work? Is there a website, Instagram, and like social media? Where can we find that?
Website is LarryMitchell.com.
Okay.
And Instagram is Larry Mitchell's Photos. I take a lot of photos.
Yeah.
And then I do a live stream every Tuesday. Every Tuesday at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, which is my electric rock blues stuff.
Nice.
And then Sunday nights are mellow, mostly improv, acoustic.
Okay. And now is that on Instagram as well? Is that YouTube?
That's YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch.
Oh, nice. Okay, very good. Well, Larry Mitchell, appreciate the time, man. Yes, sir. Yeah. Well, that does it for another episode of Tone Nerds. Like to thank our special guest, Larry Mitchell. Like to thank the Dallas International Guitar Festival and Tone Locker for having us out here. As always, you guys like and subscribe. You guys have a great day.